Hi guys, hope you're having a great evening. This is Fred and Sheila from Hatfield McCoy Museum Adventures and FS Investigates.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. We are wore out.
Yeah.
We've had our first shooting class of the year today, and it's been a long day. But we want to make a couple of videos before we turn in.
Okay.
This one here is going to be on Johnny Edrington. Guys, what we done, and let me explain something first of all. Sheila and I don't, this is a puzzle. Any case, anytime you work in a case and investigating something, you start, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, and you put a piece here and get a piece there, and sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't. You throw it away, grab another piece, and that's the way an investigation is. At the end of this investigation, we may walk away with nothing. We may find out no more than has ever been found out on the Johnny Edrington case. We don't think so. We think with y'all's help, we're going to solve this case. We're going to figure out either this was a side, as Sheila calls it.
Yep.
Reason that the videos on Johnny's not going anywhere is I keep saying those words, and when you use certain words in YouTube videos, they put you at the bottom of the barrel and they don't promote the clip. So I've got to start using bang bang and side and different code words to keep from saying these bad words. Yeah. But when Sheila and I do this, we're like anybody else. We're fishing.
Yeah.
We're fishing. If somebody takes something that we say offensively, you're reading into it, or you're guilty of something, because we don't say nothing to be accusatory toward anybody yet. We're still fishing.
We don't have the evidence.
No, just because we make a statement on something, that we're just making that statement because that's probably something that we found out, and something that may be interesting to somebody, and something that somebody else may be able to feed off of and say, hey, I remember this, and I remember, and that's what we do.
Right. We
don't mean nothing by it. And again, a lot of the things that we say is our opinion, and that's it. We're trying to solve the Johnny Edrington case. If you want to help us solve it, that would be great, and we would appreciate it. We need all the help we can get.
I agree.
What Sheila and I did is we joined that newspaper archives. And we started going back through all the old newspapers. See, we have nothing to go on. We have nothing to go on except the phone calls we get, the messages we get, the emails we get.
Text, whatever, yeah.
That's all we've got. We wasn't there. Really, at that time, we were in Pike County at that time, so we knew about it. And through the years going through the police academy, you hear things, and what we heard was the wrong thing. You know, everybody, we're going to talk about that as we go along. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Well, guys, what we did, we got a bunch of newspaper clippings here. And we've got them on the big screen, and we got them down here, and we're going to, as we scroll through these, we've made notes underneath them. Now, if you're that interested in this case, you can go to the newspaper archives. Costs you $20 a month, whatever it is. You can punch in Johnny Edrington, you can punch in 1988, you can punch in London, Kentucky. It'll come up in all kinds of different newspapers. And this first one that come up says State Medical Examiner Ruse Trooper's Death, a homicide. Now, we didn't put these in any kind of order. So we know that, first of all, they found his cruiser and his body. They took him for an autopsy. They done this, they done that. So these are not going to be in any particular order.
Okay.
All we do is go through newspaper articles, pick out things that may be of interest to us.
Right.
And you guys.
Sure.
And we make notes and we put it out there. We're fishing. We're throwing it out there to you, and maybe somebody will remember something, because they do.
Yeah.
Because we're getting phone calls.
Thank you all.
We're getting information. And the people we're getting it from, I don't believe would mind a bit talking to the state police or somebody about it, because they wasn't talked to back then. Some of them made calls to the state police. We said that they who'd they send out to talk to you? They never did send nobody. You called and told the state police this, and nobody even come out to talk to you about it? No, never seen nobody. So anyway, this first article, the first news article there, it said, the headline said, State Medical Examiner rules trooper's death a homicide. Let's go through this. We're just going to go through each article, just the highlights of things that stand out. Suicide has been ruled out of KSP Edrington's case by Dr. George Nichols, medical examiner.
Okay.
The shooting death of Edrington's was a homicide. Go ahead, baby.
State police believe he had stopped a speeding car.
The state police believed he had stopped a speeding car. State police, Sheila and I believe it was someone he knew. See, we don't believe it was a traffic stop. They say, well, his radar was locked in at 79 and his blue lights was on and so forth. There's a lot of things that can play into things in reports and things. You can't always believe everything you hear and everything you see or that people tell you that happened, because other things could have happened, and that could have been I've clocked people doing way over that before and forget to reset the radar. Until you reset it. And I'm going to tell you something about police officers. And that's the sad thing about this, is because when you know how some people, and especially, I ain't going to be accusatory right here at the beginning. Thank you, babe.
Good job.
She's kneeing me down here, and I won't be accusatory, but let's just say it like this. There's agencies or there's police officers. You may have locked somebody in at 79 earlier. I'm not saying he did this. Not saying he didn't. Didn't even know Johnny Edrington. Let's talk hypothetically.
Okay.
There has been police officers that has locked somebody in for speeding and then left that speed on their radar. And then when they got somebody else for speeding, but they didn't get them locked in or something, they pulled them over and they said, hey, I got you at 79. Oh, you didn't get me at 79. I want to see it. Well, come on back. And they'll let them go back there and look at the radar. 79, huh? I didn't think I was going that fast. Well, that's the way things work. Cops are. So could he have left that 79 speed on there from when he was out on the interstate earlier? Because you're going to hear here in a minute, we've got his log sheet of the things that he did from the time that he came to work that evening at 4 o'clock until he was ready to get off at 12 o'clock. He was at the post 11 barracks at 11 o'clock. And he didn't respond to the midnight roll call. So somewhere between 11, when he was seen at the post 11, and 2:45, whenever they found him, he had met his demise.
Okay.
But every newspaper article, and a lot of these were wrote by mostly the same person. And but they mentioned that 79 had clocked the speeder at 79. That may have just not been reset. That may just be on there. Sheila and I believe he knew somebody.
Yep.
We don't believe it was traffic stop. We've said that. We'll keep going on. We no longer believe it was a suicide. Once upon a time, you couldn't convince me no other way than that it was a suicide. I'm sorry, baby. Then that it was a side.
A side, yeah. Thank you.
Then that it was a side. We don't believe that no more. We believe it was a side, all right, a homicide. We have researched everything we can on Johnny's death. Again, we don't have nothing but newspaper articles and things that people tell us, but whatever's out there, we've tried to find it and familiarize ourselves. And I'll tell you, the biggest help was Trooper Asher's book. Not that it's factual, not that it's credible, but it does give us something to go on.
Okay.
And you're going to see why in a minute. We have talked to numerous people who remember it well.
Yeah.
We don't want to go over rumors, but sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. what we have found out is there's two sides. There's the side story, S side,
There you go.
and then there's the homicide side. See, you had a bunch of officers. You had the post commander, Trooper Asher, and you had his 3 detectives that were calling this that night. Now, he didn't get there till late at night or early in the morning. He was there at the funeral home the next morning at 8:30 and unzipped the body bag and seen Johnny's body in uniform.
So didn't Dr. Hunsaker say that too?
But, well, we're not got to him yet. Right now we're on the 3 detectives.
Oh, okay.
Right now we're on the 3. He's got 3 detectives, and these 3 detectives have gone to him, and he said, what do you think? And they said, it's a S side.
Okay.
So they've already made up their mind within a matter of, they found him at 2:45 in the morning, and they've already made up their mind that this is a S side. That's pretty fast. That's fast. Beat it all, it's a S side, and it looks so much like a S side. How could you call it anything but a S side? It looks like it. It looks so much like a S side. It looks like somebody may have made it look that way. To me, my opinion. So you've got this side over here, those 4.
Okay.
The colonel, and then his 3 detectives. And then, like Sheila said, you've got the coroner, and you've got the assistant state medical examiner.
Okay.
Those are on the S side. They're all over here together. They're saying it's a S side. Well, do you really think if you've got a post commander and three detectives, and they're saying it's a S side, and they're saying it's their own man, it's a fellow trooper, and it's a S side. Is the local coroner really going to go against it? I mean, I don't know, guys. We're asking. We play devil's advocate on all this. At one time or another, we've said this, and this. So don't take us. We're fishing. We're asking a question. If you had a post commander and 3 detectives, and they tell the coroner, we think it's S side, what do you think he's going to do? I mean, there's very few that rocks the boat in this world. Right. There's very few that stands up and says, yep, you've seen that thing on Facebook where you got one person going this way and a 1,500 going down the other lane because everybody's followers and they just follow what they see. It's very hard to take that road by yourself and go that route and say, guys, believe you're wrong. I believe this is a homicide. And he goes along with it. And then he gets with the state medical examiner, assistant, along with the 4 state police officers, and they say, this is a S side. What's he going to do? There's your investigating agency. There's your investigating detectives, and they're calling it a S side. Now, in the meantime, Frankfurt, the heavies, say, whoa, slow down, guys. This ain't no S side. This is a homicide. Right. Something's not right here. Because, see, I ain't going to reach over and get it. My back's hurt. Trooper Asher says in his book that he unzipped, and we're going to get to it, he unzipped the body bag, and his uniform was perfect. No problem. But yet, in every newspaper article, almost every newspaper article I've read, it says the uniform was disarray, and there were signs of a struggle. Trooper Asher says there was no signs of a struggle. That's his words. You'll see it here in a minute.
Wow.
He writes it in his book.
Yeah.
So you've got 2 football teams here. You got a competition. One's saying this, one's saying that. And they're on it's Kentucky and Louisville. We're all in Kentucky, but we've got UK and University of Louisville. But we're all from the same state. Let's see where we go to. Hang with us. Let's see if anything rings a bell.
Okay.
The S side, maybe do you have anything else?
No.
Your point was taken a while ago. You were just a little bit premature on it. I wanted to bring up no. I wanted to bring up the 3 detectives and the trooper first, right. How they was already leaning that way.
Right.
But good point on your part. That's the ones that says that it's S side. The S side, including 3 troopers KSP detectives and a post commander called it a S side within hours of the death. The homicide side claimed homicide, but allowed the S side to investigate. People in Frankfurt were calling this a homicide. But you're going to see through these newspaper articles that we read, some of them 3 and 4 years later, where the same detectives, especially one, is investigating the Johnny Edrington case. But yet, within minutes to a few hours, coming up on the scene of Johnny Edrington, he's already told the post commander, S side, he offed himself. But this is the man that's in charge of the rest of Johnny Edrington's investigation till I don't know when. We don't have the report, don't see the report. Nobody sees the report. It's locked away in a safe, according to a KSP retired captain in Frankfurt. One of the most possible suspects is not taken seriously by at least one of the investigating KSP detectives. You've done seen the thumbnail. You already know who we're talking about if you're from that area. We'll build up to it. Why would he, if he's already called it a suicide? Why would this KSP detective take anybody that calls any information in, any tips? Why would he take them serious if he's already ruled it in his mind a S side? Right, babe? Are you following me?
I'm following you. I'm right behind you.
Okay, well, you got to get beside him now. Well, you don't get behind.
But
We're just thinking out loud, guys. Yeah. Next headline, May 1st, 1994. Police cover-up. Big bold letters. If you guys Google Johnny Edrington, KSP, and all this and that, all these newspaper articles will come up on newspaper archives. Police cover-up with a question mark. Big. Foley quizzed again on trooper's death. Hints to police involvement. I'm not going to go through the newspaper. I can't read it that good on here, so I've made notes we have. April the 30th, 1994, headlines read, Police cover-up. What kind of credibility could Foley have? That's what one of the Foley's quizzed again, hence the... So somebody on there has said, what kind of credibility could Foley have? He's at least a 7-time murderer in the story. Somebody has made that statement that doesn't want to talk to Foley. The person already believes it's a S side. Why would he want to talk to a 7-time murderer, convicted murderer? Does that mean he couldn't have murdered 8 or 9? Does to me. Wow, what a person to talk to. Well, if you killed 7, you think you'd care to kill 8, 9, 10? And from what we're hearing, who knows the number? Hopefully, before they put him to death, somebody will take him serious. Some news group out there. Sheila and I have sent letters and calls, and we've tried. We hope we get to talk to him.
Right.
We're not looking.
No.
We're not looking to. We don't think it will be approved.
But if it does,
I wish he would meet with us and they would allow us. Or did he know somebody? If he didn't do it, did he know somebody? Look at that truck in the background behind us. It's going to come up more in a minute. Or did he know somebody? Why has the murder or murderers never been caught?
It's a good question.
Ain't it?
It's a really good question.
Maybe they're sitting in prison. Maybe they're sitting in prison. I know there's rumors out there. I know there's all kinds of rumors around London, and they were at the time. Sheila and I've read all the newspapers. We've read all the rumors of different things and different people. And again, you can't trust nobody. We'll get to that in a minute. But what if the reason they've never caught the murderer is because he's He's sitting in prison. He's already been caught. He's just been caught on other ones. And nobody knew how to treat him. Nobody knew how to talk to him. Maybe nobody wants to know what he knows. Maybe nobody wants to take him serious.
Mm-mm.
What if he's been caught, but he's incarcerated? Talking hypothetically. I don't want to say this every sentence. I don't want to say these are our opinion. This is alleged. That's all we've got. Everything you're hearing from us on every video we've made
Exactly.
on Johnny Edrington's death is either from Trooper Asher's book,
Yeah.
newspapers, or calls that we've received, or text messages from people that gave us things. And sometimes that's all you've got to go on, and you got to try to start building some kind of a case from that.
Puzzle piece by puzzle piece.
Imagine what a person could do if we actually had the case file. Imagine what we could come up with if we could actually look who they talked to and what they said, when and where and how. Why wasn't another agency called in to investigate this case? Why wasn't somebody else called in to investigate? You know, the Kentucky State Police, like I said, I remember in 2018 when I was in a class in Richmond, and Rick Sanders was in there, stood up and told, it was sheriffs and police chiefs, and he stood up and told them the state police had started a new unit. They were going to start specializing in investigating high media coverage stories, police shootings and things like that. And any department that wanted them to investigate, all they had to do was request them and they would be there. Said some other things, but and that's what people started doing after that. So now the London PD called the state police to come and investigate them. All this and that. Well, who investigates the state police when it's their own agency? Who investigates the state police? State police investigate this case. It's locked away in a safe.
Yeah.
Don't you want to find the murderer? Is that trooper's life not that important to you? Some of them says it's suicide for 35 years.
Yeah.
The rest says it's homicide. They hide the case away, lock it away in a file. Why? Why would that be? You've got rumors on top of rumors on top of rumors. I've read them, guys. I'm not going to get on here and go off on these rumors until we have more to go on than just solely rumors. But sometimes rumors may have merit to them.
Yeah. There's smoke.
Sometimes rumors may have merit. We haven't got to it yet, but we will in a minute. But let's talk about, what if somebody told you that a sheriff, a high sheriff in a county, walked into a judge's chamber and bang, 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 that sheriff, that judge to death? Would you believe it? You'd say, wow, that's hard to believe. Well, there's a complete video of that. And when you see a complete video, you say, wow, can't believe that, but if I hadn't seen it. Things happen. So sometimes these rumors may actually prove out to be something. What if you've seen a FBI agent? Young, talented, good-looking FBI agent with his whole career ahead of him. But he makes a mistake, gets a girl pregnant. She's pregnant. She's going to tell his wife and mess his job up, and he kills her. Would you believe it? Is that hard to believe? Of course it is. But it happened. What if you had another FBI agent that went and got a murderer that was in jail for murder, and he just got out and was in trouble, and he put him on probation and went and talked to the judge and had him released into his custody where he could use them for undercover work. And while he's out on undercover work with this FBI agent, he loses contact with him and he goes and kills 6 more people. Wow, unbelievable. But it happened. Why did the state police not call in somebody else? Who was the state police post commander? Why didn't Asher, if he's so... I know, I got you.
Okay.
Now she's beating my leg there. No, you're right. Why didn't Asher call in somebody? Why didn't he call the media?
Good question.
Why didn't he call the feds, maybe? The feds has lost a lot of their credibility over the last several years also, just like the state police. But
They would be in the next step up, right?
well, they would have been somebody. At least you would have asked for another agency to look at it.
Different set. Yeah.
Rather than yourself.
Right,
And then
right.
locking the file away. You're mad because people are starting to make allegations against other troopers and saying, What happened here? We question this, we question that. Is there any merit to them questioning it, or was it just rumors? We'll never know, because the state police was the ones doing the investigating, and it was their troopers that was being accused of bad things. Who do you trust? Could that not have happened? We don't know that it happened or it didn't. We seen several newspaper articles with it in there.
Yeah.
And several jails that was visited by the troopers trying to get to the bottom of it and all this and that. Why not call somebody to investigate it and say, clear this up? We can't clear it up ourselves. It's on us. It's on our troopers.
Mm-hmm.
We need help clearing this up. How about justice for Johnny Edrington? Why wasn't another agency called in? You know, these troopers and people that had rumors going on about them was mad. I'm telling you from what I read. It's all I have. All I have is what we've read.
Exactly.
But they were so mad. They were so disgusted. Somebody had slandered their name. Somebody had accused them of something they were not. And of course, that's terrible. What I say, one of my sayings was, I'd rather let a guilty person go as ever charge an innocent person, because you can't get that credibility back. You can't. It's sad. It's hard. It's terrible to accuse an innocent person of something they didn't do. So I know how these other gentlemen felt, these detectives, if they were in fact innocent. And if they're in fact innocent, why not call another agency in to investigate and say, hey, clear our name. We don't want to investigate this no more. Now they're saying it's us. That would have helped out.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're too close to the case because, like you said, it involved them, so they should have.
Exactly.
They should have called somebody else in.
How about justice for Johnny Edrington? How about not worrying about ourselves, our reputations, our rumors? Let's solve the case. That would have solved the rumors, would it not? If you got rumors going on about you, that would have made me work that much harder to find out who killed Johnny Edrington. So I could say, now you guys that started all these bad rumors on all of us, there you go. He's in jail. That would have solved it. Not been solved. It's not been solved. Those people say it. Well, it's a suicide. He killed himself. He just killed himself. Other people says it's a homicide, but they send the people. Am I using that word? Sorry, buddy.
Sorry. It's not funny, but it's.
But they're
but
using.
you're trying not to.
Yeah. The homicide people are saying it's a homicide, but they're using the S side detectives to investigate it. Well, what are they going to investigate? They believe it's a S side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm making any sense to you guys or not. Sorry if I'm not. Half claiming a S side, half claiming a homicide, the same agency. Something stinks here, guys. Claims that others were involved. Were they? We don't know. We've read plenty of newspaper articles. The newspaper printed it. Several newspapers printed those rumors that was going around. Rumors with a newspaper, they have to be more than just a rumor. There's something that those reporters put those rumors in a news story. You don't just throw rumors out there that bad on people without some kind of. But even more reason for another agency to have been investigated. Article was written that Foley had made claim someone had told him they killed Johnny Edrington. It's in the newspaper there.
Yeah.
Article was written that Foley had made the claim to somebody, that somebody had told him that they were the ones that killed Johnny Edrington. We have now had a person tell us that Foley admitted to him that he killed Johnny Edrington.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've had somebody tell us that he knew Foley.
Yeah.
We call him Robert. He calls him Bob. Grew up with him. Knew him his life.
Said he asked him straight up.
Says that Foley admitted that he was the one, and he told him how he done it.
Yeah.
See that red truck behind us? He was in a red Ford truck. 4 of them. And they pulled up behind Johnny, got out. Foley supposedly, hypothetically, approached Edrington. Evidently,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
There you go.
We're telling what we were told. Foley allegedly approached Edrington. Edrington knew him, so he had no reason to be alarmed until the passenger, there was 4 of them in the truck, until the passenger got out with a shotgun and held it on Johnny. This story that was told to us. When he held the shotgun on Edrington, Foley supposedly reached and got Edrington's gun and shot him between the eyes. Is that true? We don't know. We don't know. Somebody told us that, and they told us they don't mind talking to the state police. They actually told us that a month or a few months afterwards, that they actually called the state police in Frankfort, Kentucky. And they talked to a higher upper. And they told them, I want to tell you something, but I want to talk to somebody in charge. And the person told them, I'm the highest you can go in the state police. I'm him. And he told them the same story. The red truck, supposedly, if you knew people, we started to, but we can't. Back and we just can't climb and do things we used to do.
Plus, we're supposed to get snow and cold weather.
If you're near White Oak Road in London, I think it goes down toward a racetrack, but somewhere down through there's a big bank or something, insurance curve or whatever, where people puts their vehicles over. You're probably going to find that red truck down there. That's where that red truck's supposed to be.
That's where it's supposed to be located, yeah.
That red truck's supposed to be over that hill.
Yep.
We don't know if it is or not. We're throwing it out there. Throwing it out there for the state police, throwing it out there for the investigators, throwing it out there for anybody. At one time, there was a $50,000 reward for the capture or prosecution of who killed Johnny. Go get it. Go get it. We just want justice for Johnny. Go get it. We don't care. We're not doing it for the reward. Probably, if it even still exists, I don't know. But if it does, you can have it. Help us solve this case. We want to know if it's an S side, if it's a homicide.
Exactly.
That's what we want to do. Case closed.
Give the family closure.
This case needs to be closed out. If that family's husband, father has been falsely accused of doing the S word, shame on these guys. That was on the S side. Shame on them. Again, if there's one iota that it's a chance that it was a homicide, then hooray for Frankfort. Hooray for the heavies. I'm glad they held out. I'm glad they held out for that one little iota that this veteran and this trooper could have been offed by somebody. Now this person tells us that they laid the gun back down near Johnny's hand, in Johnny's hand, and they left. Now Foley is the man to talk to. So all you need to do is talk to him. You know, you're going to hear an article here in a minute, and you're going to hear an article that may explain something. Let's keep on going, because I don't want to make this a long video. Foley makes the statement in 1990 that there's never been an unsolved KSP death. Isn't that something? This is a 7-8 time convicted murderer, and he knows the statistics on the Kentucky State Police.
Wow.
Up to 1990, up to Johnny Edrington, there has never been a case of a trooper that's been killed in the state of Kentucky that's not been solved. Why is it Johnny Edrington's case has not been solved? Why? Was it the rumors? Was it Foley? Was it something else? What is it? Again, we said the other day, with the state police's resources, with the everything they've got and the talent, these guys have got some talent if they want to use it. and directed in the right place, it's there. Turn them loose. Turn two straight, honest, character-toting troopers, detectives loose and say, go get it, boys. It's in that file. Find out what happened one way or the other.
So,
Because we're not going to let it die. Kentucky State Police, we're not going to let it die. We're on it now. Trooper Asher brought it up. Trooper Asher said this man committed the S word. Trooper Asher says he went and put a file, a supplemental file to the post. Once it added, he wants that man's death certificate changed to S side. Why? What is that going to do for anybody if it's really not an S side? With no more, what is his ambition? What is his goal? Why is he, after 36 years now,
so determined to...
Yeah. Why is this trooper, Asher's book has raised the questions. He's opened up he took the genie out of the bottle, and she won't get back in. She won't get back in the bottle. Was the person Foley named ever interviewed? See, you're going to see an article here in a minute where Foley first named somebody, told them to go see this person.
Wow.
Was he ever interviewed? Is that interview in that file? We don't know. Anyone from Loyal County, at least, that's connected. We don't know anyone from Loyal County, at least, that's connected to the Johnny Edgerton case. We don't know anybody. You can't say, oh, they're just spreading rumors. Oh, they don't like me. They don't like this person. They're just trying to... Really? We've took every side there is to take. We've took Asher's, we've took Johnny's, we've took S side, we've took Homicide, we've took other troopers, we've took... What do? We call it being devil's advocate. So we don't care whose side. What side are we on, Sheila? The truth. The truth.
The truth.
All we want's the truth. We don't care how it turns out. If it's a S side, fine. He's S side. He was overwhelmed with something. Something happened. He broke. But if it's a homicide, somebody needs to be in jail if they're not in jail already.
Yeah, somebody needs to be held accountable.
Looking at this case, there is definitely a question of a cover-up in the death of Johnny Edgerton. You know, one thing Asher did, he named this chapter right. The big gray cover-up. He named it correctly. The big gray cover-up. It don't involve all the troopers in the Kentucky State Police. I disagree with that part because it big gray cover-up like it the whole... I don't think the entire state police is corrupt. I've known state troopers, and there's some good ones, and there's like everything else, there's bad.
So that's what I'm saying.
But he named it correctly. Cover-up. This is a cover-up, guys. It's a cover-up whether it's a S side or whether it's a homicide. You're going to see here in a minute. Hang with us. Hang with us. One story said rumors for 16 years. That's a long time for rumors. And we say where there's smoke, there's fire. Rumors for 16 years, but yet there's no case being solved. Why? That would make you believe maybe. Are they rumors? Are they rumors? Times Tribune, not credible. Police say they won't even bother to check Foley's story. Wow. Since when did an investigative agency, somebody says, I know who done this, or I've done it, or I'd like to talk to somebody about this, and they say,
Are they supposed to follow all the leads, though?
if you're a good investigator, you'll follow every lead. You won't flip your finger at them. You'll say, hey, when can we meet? Let's see what he's got.
Let's at least talk to him and see what he has to say.
Not credible. Police say they won't even bother to check Foley's story. What kind of statement is that?
Wow.
The case is at a standstill and someone may have knowledge of who the killer is. Heck, they may even be the killer. And the police say they won't bother to check out his story. Wow. That's on the newspaper, guys. The newspaper article up there at top, Sheila. There it is. Times Tribune.
Yeah.
April 27th, 1994. Not credible. Headlines. Police say they won't even bother. And they tell the story of how Foley was wanting to talk to somebody, and he had a name for him, wanting to go talk to him. Now, I catch one thing here. A lot of his statements were found to be self-serving. But officials say they looked at it deeply and needed it. A lot of his statements were found to be self-serving. State police captain. Whoa. Oh, we've gone from lieutenant now, from 2 years ago, because in 1988, when Johnny Edgerton was killed, Lieutenant William Stewart, detective, was a lieutenant. Now, this is 1990, a year and a half later. He's been promoted to captain, but guess what? He's still on the case. He's a captain, but he is still in charge. The lead investigator, who was the lead investigator in Edgerton's slaying, said Tuesday of Foley's information. Stewart, who is now commander of the Harlem Post, said he's followed some pretty remote leads in Edgerton's killing. Yeah, he sure did. Sure did. You're going to hear here in a minute. They traveled to California. They traveled to Indiana, Ohio, Tennessee. Man, they traveled everywhere. But from what I can understand, they wouldn't travel around the next county to Clay County to question this man that Robert Foley told him to go talk to. Travel to California. We'll get to it. Not credible. Police say they won't even bother. What kind of statement? Okay. Police say they have little faith in 7-time convicted murderer Robert Foley. They have little faith in him. Probably not even going to question the man. Foley told them, confessed to him, and Foley told this guy that he had confessed to him that he actually killed Johnny Edgerton. Must have never heard the old saying, birds of a feather flock together. You ever heard that? Birds of a feather flock together? Would another murderer trust a man that's convicted of killing 7 other people? He's a murderer. He's a cold-blooded murderer himself. There's nobody colder than, from what I can find, than Robert Foley was back in those days. But they ain't going to talk to him because they don't think he's credible. Do you think maybe somebody would care to tell? Would you care to tell Robert Foley you killed somebody? Could you trust him? Yeah. In the article, Foley says he passed a polygraph test. Is that true? Is that true? They took Foley for a polygraph test and he passed it on the information he was giving them? No wonder this case is under lock and key, if that's true. See, things like that's the things that Kentucky State Police don't want you to see. Now, I'm hoping they call my hand here. See, I don't care if they hate me, don't like me, I don't care. It's not about me. It's about Johnny Edgerton. It's about this case, and it's about how it spins out. I don't care what they feel about me, but if I was them, I'd want to prove Fred wrong. And I'd say, here, let's open the case up and show them. Johnny Edgerton never took no polygraph. Johnny Edgerton took 5 polygraphs and he failed them every one. We don't know, see, because it's under lock and key. Now, watch here what happened after Johnny Edgerton's put to death, because he's on death row. He's just waiting for the day. After he's put to death, all of a sudden, you can say anything you want to about that file, because whatever disappears out of that file is gone. Nobody's there. Johnny Edgerton's, not Johnny, but Robert Foley's not there to correct it. He's not there to say, wait a minute, that's not true. The lead investigator, now promoted to captain, and the same detective who called Johnny Edgerton's death a suicide the same night that it happened. He's called it, why would he want to talk to Foley? This man says it's a suicide. Been a suicide for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours after it happened. It's already, he done told Asher. As soon as Asher got there and said, boys, what's your all's thoughts on this? I'm sorry, babe, I said it again.
You're okay. You have not said a whole lot, but it's okay.
And they said, okay. What do you think about it? They said it's an S side. It's an S side. But you've got the same trooper that's called it an S side from the beginning, and now he's supposed to go interview somebody and try to find evidence that it's a homicide. He would want to prove himself wrong, or why would he want to talk to anyone else since he thinks it's a S side? I'd like to know if this was one of the troopers who flew to California to interview a suspect. Guys, There's two troopers, two KSP personnel that flew to California.
Wow.
Somewhere in California. I got it here in a minute. To interview a guy that had been passing through and robbed a store or something that night. And they thought maybe he had something to do with Johnny Edrington's death. So they went to California. Now, he's done lawyered up. All they had to do was call California and say, hey, you got a so-and-so down there. We'd like to come and question him. Ask him if he'll talk to us. No, he says he's lawyered up. You can call his attorney. Okay, attorney, can we talk? No, I don't want him talking to nobody. Okay, thanks, because you just saved us an airfare for 2 Kentucky State Troopers on a tight budget up here in Kentucky to California in hotel rooms. And I don't know how long we stayed down there, 2 or 3 days, no doubt, to look around. And never even got to talk to the man. That's detective work. That's detective work. Get mad at me. Get mad at me for questioning it. But do you want people out here going to California on your dime? Because that's what they did. They put it in the newspaper that they was going to interview a guy in California that may have something to do with this. What's he going all the way to California for? He says it's a S-side. If Stewart is one of the detectives that went, he says it's a S-side from 2 hours after it happened. It's a S-side. What's he flying to California for? He's done called it. They're already arguing. He says him and Asher says that all of them and the coroner and the assistant medical ME, they're all into it because they want to call it a S-side and nobody else is agreeing. But yet, I think I'll fly to California. It may be a homicide after all. Yeah. Go California, go to Nashville, Tennessee, go to Indiana, go to Ohio. But you can't go to Clay County. Just wait, it's coming up. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they prove me wrong. I hope they open that file and say, hey, Fred McCoy, here's where they went and interviewed. Here's this guy's name. Because, see, they never give his name. Nowhere through here do they ever give this guy's name that Foley told him that he wanted him to go talk to. News people out there that's got a whole lot more connections than me and Sheila that might be able to get in down there to see Foley and question him.
Right.
Lee Searcy, great investigative reporter. Somebody like that with one of these news, that's LEX. We like LEX. We like WKYT, 56, Fox, all of them. They all have some great investigators. We don't care who goes. I like to know if he went to California, if he was one of them, though. Not important enough to drive to the next county to interview a suspect that you've been given the name of, but you'll make a trip to California knowing that the suspect had lawyered up, sorry to repeat myself, and wasn't wasted talking to nobody. So it's a wasted trip. Funny how law enforcement can say so much until it's something that may incriminate them. You know, they can talk so much about these cases when it sounds good for them, but when something comes up that, why did you do this, or where did you, and then all of a sudden they're limited. Oh, I'd like to tell you more, but this is an open investigation. You just told me all this other stuff, but this is an open investigation. I can't go into that. Refuse to give the possible suspect's name. To what we can find out, this person that Robert Foley, and Robert Foley has got the credibility of a turtle. I mean, we know that, and Robert Foley knows that. Anybody that knows Robert Foley knows that. But Robert Foley also knows other people that's got the same credibility. Birds of a feather flock together. Who are you going to find your Sunday school teacher running around in that red truck with Robert Foley back in '88? No, that's not who was running around with him. He had others just like him with him. And if he was there that night. Wow, I wonder why we can't solve a case. I wonder why the state police, we can solve it. Give us the file, we'll solve the case for you.
We'll do our best.
We'll solve the case. If they've investigated this case like they should have and got names where we can go talk to people. Number one person to go talk to right now, Robert Foley. Let's rule him out. Let's rule him out. Let's go see who he said that we should go talk to. And the trooper said, we're not following. We're not going to do nothing, Robert Foley. We don't trust him. Who was it? Did they talk to him? And if they didn't, let's go talk to him. Go talk to him now and ask him. And if it's not him, ask Robert Foley. Robert, we've got a report. Go talk to the people Sheila and I talked to, and ask them what their knowledge of this was, and who they know that also has knowledge, and where maybe the shotgun is still at today. Shotgun wasn't used, so it's really not evidence. The truck wasn't used except in a traffic stop, but it's over the hill. They put it over the hill for some reason.
They hid it for some reason.
They put it over the hill for some reason. We don't know why. There's certain things. It's a jigsaw puzzle.
Yep.
We got to have help. The puzzle's there, and they've got the rest of it in their file. Go talk to this guy that Foley said to. If you get nothing there, go back and talk to Foley, or talk to Foley in the beginning and say, hey, listen, man, you're going to the electric chair. You're going down. Tell us. Tell us what you know. Did you do it? And if you did, prove it to us. You're going to have to give us more than just wanting to stake claim to it. We need some proof. He says he passed the polygraph. That's a start.
He needs, if he did it, he needs to tell something that nobody else knows anything about.
Exactly.
And that would, everybody then would go, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Guys, there was and is a serious problem with our Kentucky State Police. I'm sorry to say. Sorry to say it. If you guys don't see it, you need to get your head out of the sand, because we got a serious problem with our Kentucky State Police. Cream of the crop. That's it for Kentucky. That's the highest echelon you can go. They're investigating themselves. There are people accusing them, and they're still investigating themselves. They never call in an outside source to say, hey, can you clear this up for us? Can you go talk to these people that's starting these rumors? And let's see if they're rumors. Let's see if they got any merit to them.
Now that's a
No, they put a,
That's a conflict.
They put a story in the newspaper and said, we're going to file slander suits if people keep it up. Who's investigating? How can these people that's saying these things, how can they, just like Sheila and I, there's only so much we can do.
Right.
We're using Sheila's YouTube channel. She started this for her and different things, and here I've commandeered it. But
It's okay. No worries. It's all good.
What's these people supposed to do? How are they supposed to go out and investigate themselves? They're dependent on a police agency. And if the state police can't investigate themselves, then they need another agency to come in and look at this.
Yeah, they definitely need to do
News
that.
media, if you're having a slow day, we urge you to go interview Robert Foley. Hint. If he's not our man, he knows who it is. Or was, probably by now. 36 years ago. 36 years ago. Is the person he told him to talk to even still alive? What happened to him if he's not alive? Was he offed? Did he die of natural causes? Or is he still over there and willing to talk now? Headlines. This $10,000 reward offered in the shooting of trooper. That's just a newspaper article. And down at the bottom here it says, State Police ask if anyone saw Edrington stopping a vehicle on Kentucky 80. Go ahead.
Around midnight to call the London Post.
And they give the number. Last seen around 11:30 p.m. that night. Apparently stopped a speeder at 79 miles an hour. Guy puts all these signs together. The guys put all these signs together. Let's go. He's got the gun in his hand. He's got the gun pointing back at him, even.
Yeah.
Blue lights are on, like it's a traffic stop. Radar's locked in on 79 miles an hour. He stopped the speeder. Coincidence or suicide made to order? Used to be, I thought it was, sorry,
It's okay.
S side.
It's all good.
Used to be, I thought it was a S side all the way. No, this is not a S side. If it is, please prove us wrong. We don't care, but you got to prove it to us. This is a homicide. He was killed. Bottom paragraph, ask if anyone has any information, call the KSP. Guys, all these newspaper articles, and I'll save them in a file here we got. So anybody that's ever got a question, they're there. Bottom line says, anybody got any information, please call. $10,000 reward. Call the KSP. We got a man that says he called. Him and his uncle both. Called KSP to give them the information. First-hand information. And gave it to them. They never as much as went and interviewed him. Now, I don't know this guy. I don't know him. He may, from what I can understand, he's never been in jail in his life as far as any trouble and stuff. Vietnam veteran, old man, don't care. Right. He's just like Fred. He's just, you get old and you get grumpy and you just don't understand why things are like they are. What's happened to people's credibility and character. And that sounds like this guy here. They never even went out. They're offering rewards in the newspaper, but they're not even following up on. They say they're not going to see Robert Foley. They didn't go see this guy. They didn't go see this guy's uncle, which was also related to Robert Foley. 7-time murder. Robert Foley gives the state police a name, but the KSP not going to take the time to talk to the person or even place the person's name in the file. Unbelievable. Because he says in that story up there, they're not even going to put his name out there. They don't even want to put this man's name out there. Why? Okay, you don't want to put his name out there. Okay. Is that going to stop you from driving 20 miles down the road to talk to him and say, hey, sorry to bother you. We know this is nonsense, but Robert Foley told us that you could tell us and see where it goes. He might say, yeah, I was wondering what took you so long to get here. And he might say, get the blank off my property. That's nonsense. How you know? How you know what he's going to say till you ask him?
Don't know until you ask.
I'm going to skip that for now.
Yep.
Police refused to interview with suspect in trooper's death. Local attorney. Let's go down here where we can read it better.
Oh,
oh, okay. KSP investigators fly to Barstow, California. Didn't they think to call first to save a trip? You can't make this stuff up, guys. You can't make this stuff up. You won't go down the road to question a man on a murder, but you'll fly to California, 2 of you. How many days you stay? See, that should be in the report. How many days did you stay? How many hotel rooms did you get? Did you get a rent-a-car? How many miles you put on that rent-a-car? What did you do for those 2, 3, 4, 5 days that you were there? Since we're here, we might as well stay another day. This man is lawyered up. He didn't talk to him. He didn't even meet with him. He didn't give him the time of day. But you flew to California to see him? And these are your detectives? These are the best you've got? I don't mean to insult people, guys, but I guess I do, or I wouldn't say it. This is the best you've got? That can't pick up a telephone, call California and say, hey, ask that man if he'll talk to us if we come and talk to him. He's lawyered up. He don't want to talk to nobody. Oh, okay, thanks. Because that's what you get. When he lawyers up, you can't talk to him. It's over. You wasted a trip. You may have got you some beach time in, some go-go clubs, some different things that you might do while you're in California. I used to be stationed in California in the Marine Corps. Go to newspaper archives, search Johnny Edrington, Kentucky State Police. Guys, don't take our word for it. Just go search it. Read all these newspapers. Just Google. Please, if you find anything that we've missed, and I'm sure there's hundreds out there. We didn't get to read them all, but find anything we missed, please send it to us. It may explain things better. At least KSP Colonel Asher titled his chapter correctly. We believe it. Big gray cover-up. And looks like the cover-up continues today. Autopsy report says trooper was killed with his own gun. Here's a newspaper article. That was the headline. Here's one that says slain trooper's wife has baby.
Yep.
John and Kaylee Edrington was born Wednesday at Humana Hospital. I think she's, this was,
scroll back up.
help the date.
It did, I thought.
It was the next year. It was summer of that year, summer of 89. 7 pounds, 5 ounce baby. Mother Diane reported to be doing fine. Said Kentucky State Police.
Seems like it was July the 6th or the 5th.
Wife was a few months pregnant. You know, somebody corrected us on that on our first story because we said what we read. We read where Johnny Edrington's wife was 5 months pregnant and he had been married 5 months. Somebody corrected us on one of our comments and they said you're wrong there. The math don't add up. She was born in the summer. And I said, well, maybe if she's 4 or 5 or whatever, late summer, early spring, early summer.
Mm-hmm.
She was actually born.
July the 5th or 6th seems like that I'd seen.
Well, I thought that was in here.
It was at the main top, but I think when you saved it, it cut it off because it's
She
not
was
there.
born in July, I think it was. July what? Did you say?
5th or 6th one.
July the
Seemed
5th or
like
6th.
they published this on the 6th, and it said Wednesday.
Here you go, babe. Correct date of pregnancy. Struggle took place in several articles. Yet the post commander, Colonel Asher's book, he says, quote, I unzipped the body bag and observed Edrinson's uniform was in perfect order. There was no signs, any type of struggle. Any type of struggle. But yet every newspaper article, suspect sought for questioning trooper's death. That's the headlines of this one. Georgia suspect. Nashville, Georgia. This guy was put in jail in Nashville, Georgia, and I don't have it wrote there, but I'll bet you, I don't have it wrote, said Thursday, but I'll bet you they went to Nashville, Georgia. This is one I missed, and I'm not going to read that whole article. I see Lieutenant William Stewart there. He was not available for comment at press. However, state police at London Post could not confirm or deny the reports referred to investigating officer. I'll bet you that this trooper or troopers, detectives, I bet you they went and interviewed this guy in Georgia. There's you another trip. Cops love trips. We love them. We love to go pick up prisoners and bring prisoners back from other states. We love to go investigate. Police still following leads in shooting death of trooper. Headline. Police still following leads in trooper's death. That's the headline. Traveled to Portland, Tennessee, near Nashville, to interview this guy.
Wow.
John Edrinson's death, trooper 34, Kentucky, went to Portland, population 4,500, is located north of Nashville, Tennessee, in Sumner County. Sumner County, that's where we went to looking for Sebastian. If I ain't mistaken, Sheila.
Seems like it was. Bless his heart.
So they went there to interview somebody. Police still looking for clues. Suspects and trooper shoot. They're still looking for clues, but they've never met with Robert Foley or the person that he gave them the name of. Autopsy report says trooper was killed with his own gun. We feel that there is someone who saw something that will benefit us greatly, said Colonel Doris Kirkman. We feel that someone saw something that will benefit us greatly. Well, one of them sitting in the Kentucky State Penitentiary on death row and says that he had information, but your troopers, Colonel, said they're not wasting their time with it. That's what investigators do, guys. Investigators' time a lot of times is wasted. That's what we do. You go follow your leads. Anything wrong, babe? Would you get me to say something?
No, I'm just listening to you. They should have followed every lead.
Well, read that
to see
next
if it
one.
panned out. We wonder if Colonel Kerman knew about Foley wanting to talk.
I think that's a female. I'm sorry, babe. I didn't put the K in there.
Kirkman, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's my fault. We wonder if Colonel Kirkman knew about Foley wanting to talk to the police, the detectives, and them. They don't want to talk to him. Or the name that he gave the investigators. I wonder if she knows, or he knows. I think it's Doris. Didn't that say Doris?
Doris.
D-O
That's what you got, Doris.
R-R-I-S. Let's see if it's in the paper here. See what it says here in the newspaper itself. So I ain't made no. D-O-R-R-I-S. We feel like there is someone who saw something that will benefit us greatly, said Colonel Doris Kirkman, Chief of Operations for the State Police.
Do you see who was there on the same paragraph, bottom line?
Bottom line?
Look at that. Look down at that paragraph where you're at. Look at that bottom line down there. Right there.
over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. I didn't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I see that all the time. That's always.
That was interesting. Yeah.
We wonder if Colonel Kirkman knew about Foley wanting to talk. We wonder if she knows about him giving the troopers a name for them to go talk to. Guy in London asked us, who's running this dog and pony show called the Kentucky State Police? That's at the Waffle House.
Yeah.
Where people see us. Who's running this dog and pony show in Frankfurt? Who's been running it for the last 30, 40, 50 years? I feel you. I'm beginning to believe them. I believe them. I mean, there's no other way. No new development. Boys, they have a chance to clear it up. Commissioner Burnett, he don't have a real good reputation amongst troopers. There's lawsuits been filed. There's lawsuits been filed from civilians. He doesn't have a real good reputation for truth and honesty. That's my opinion. That's my own personal experience from when we found Joseph Couch and seeing what we experienced on our own, much less the research. But he has a chance to redeem himself. He has a chance to redeem himself right here. Open that filing cabinet, get that file out, call in the best 2 detectives you got and say, hey, guys, I want this solved. One way or the other, I want it solved. First place I want you to go is see Robert Foley on death row and talk to that guy and see what you can get from him that has proof, that has merit. Not something he's made up, not something why did they put this truck over the hill? If it's over the hill, that's not the truck.
Right.
That's the truck, that they were in.
Yeah, similar.
You're going to read something in a minute. I'm going to read you something. We're already over an hour. Daggone it.
Yeah.
We got to hurry up, guys.
Okay.
Death investigated. And again, they're asking for help. Very important article. A lot of our leads are taking officers out of state, the trooper said. That's what that newspaper article said. A lot of our leads are taking officers out of state. Yet they won't travel to the next county and talk to this man that Foley said. Nothing investigators have uncovered has been substantial. Stewart, he's a lieutenant or he's a captain now. Stewart says he traveled to Indiana and Ohio. Did he also travel to California, Georgia, Nashville, Georgia? Did he? I don't know. Says he's polygraphed numerous people. Who? Detective Stewart says he's polygraphed numerous people. Well, Bob Foley says that he's been polygraphed. Is that one of them? What did that polygraph show? Log report. He reported to work at 4 o'clock. Reported for work at 4 o'clock. He did a follow-up on a burglary case. That was at post 11.
Okay.
At 5:18, he worked a traffic accident. At 6 o'clock, he was back at post 11 to meet with a victim of another case. At 8:48, he had a motorist assist on I-75. At 9:10, he serviced his cruiser. 9:43, had another motorist assist on I-75. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you something. 8:48 to 9:43, he's probably just burned up an hour of time there for nothing. He's done something, my opinion.
Okay.
I could be wrong. He could actually be motorist assist and could actually be serviced his cruiser. But state police have a big thing about motorist assist. In order to get activity, they call in motorist assist when there's no motorist assist. They call in a service when there's no service. That's things to fill the log sheet rather than sitting there and nothing going on. I guess I am saying. I'm saying that it could have happened.
Okay.
I don't know Johnny's work ethic. I don't know Johnny Edgerton. Don't know what he was like. He's just been a trooper 3 years. And from what I can understand, he's a pretty good trooper. So maybe not. Maybe he really serviced 2 I-75 motorist assist. Have you ever broke down on I-75? Have you ever broke down on Cumberland Parkway? Or how many troopers pulled in to help? How many troopers you see go by? How many of them pulled in to help you? I'm not. Maybe this is the truth. I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking to the general public. They know whether they may be somebody writing comments and saying, they always pull over and help me. And that's great. I'm not saying all of them pass people by.
Right.
But I'm saying a lot of them, when they pass you by and they see you on the side of the road, later on, they'll call in a motorist assist like they stopped to help. Or somewhere else they'll call in one so they can have some activity on that log sheet. They have to have activity. They can't go out here and 943 motorist assist on I-75, 11 o'clock, back at post 11. That's the last time he was at post 11. That's what the last time they saw him, Johnny Edrington, at post 11 was 11 o'clock. He gets off in an hour. He gets off at 12 o'clock. Turned on a light colored truck that was speeding. The newspaper articles cut off. Maybe this would be in the log sheet. This would be in the file. Turned on a light colored truck that was speeding. Is this the 79 mile an hour truck? Is that it right there? Light colored, dark highway. Would that look? It's not black.
Nope.
Certainly not white, but it's could be faded. It could be the lighting could have made it look lighter. He didn't say it was. He didn't say it was white. He just said it was a light colored truck. Was speeding. We don't know. We don't know if it ever stopped. I don't know if that was, I guess that's follow-up. That's troopers, I imagine. They're telling the newspaper or somebody that they don't know if the vehicle has ever stopped. So whether Johnny called in on the radio and said, I've turned on a light-colored truck that was speeding, or where these comments come from, this is in the newspaper article titled, Death Investigated. It's continued from page 1. No new developments reported in investigation of trooper's death by Susan Davis, staff writer. That's his log sheet. Neither the driver or the truck have ever been located. That's the last comment on that log, on that newspaper article, wherever they got this from. Neither the driver or the truck have ever been located. Well, the gentleman that talked to us, that talked to the heavies in Frankfurt, told them the same story he told us about the truck, to where the truck was at, over the hill at White Oak, somewhere over in White Oak. You people that live in, I've never been on White Oak. Somebody told us earlier there's a racetrack out there, but we've never been there. But they say there's a mountain over the side, and that's where it's at. His vehicle is over that hill. Edrington's death still investigated. $50,000 reward for information. Authorities disclaim statements on case. Trooper's death remains unsolved. I think this is the one where there's a bunch of people, allegations been named.
Yeah.
Important up top. Rumors in trooper's death could lead to prosecution. More interested. Detectives are more interested in rumors going around about them than they are about solving Johnny's death. See, they've done rude Johnny's death. There's a S side. But they're mad over people starting rumors on them. Imagine if we spent that much time on actually finding, we could have solved two birds with one stone, killed two birds with one stone. Yeah. We could have solved Johnny Edrington's case, which would have also put all those rumors to rest that you all are liars, because you made up rumors on us, and here we are. We've got the murderer here. That would have been the way to prove it. Why hasn't that never been proved?
That's a good question.
Well, we uncovered that part. Police still searching for unknown assailant who killed state trooper. Goes on and on and on and on. Police say Edrington's murder will be difficult case to solve. This is the next day. This is next day or two. Police say that it's going to be a hard case to solve right off the bat.
Wow.
Captain John Law, it's going to be a difficult case to solve. Captain John Lyle, state police spokesman.
Hmm.
1 day, 2 days into the case. And they're all, this is going to be a hard case to solve. Wow. All right, guys. Sorry it went so long. Didn't mean for it to.
Yeah.
Sheila,
Do you want
sorry
me to
to
put
take
anything
over
at the end?
I don't think there's any need.
Okay.
These people, the ones that still watches our videos
Mhm.
on Johnny Edrington, you can Google Robert Foley, Kentucky State Penitentiary. His record comes up. All the people
Yeah.
that he offed comes up. This is a man that he's on death row. He's going to.
So it wouldn't matter to him.
Shouldn't matter to him.
I mean, he's not going to get anything from.
Oh no, he's not going to get parole. He's not going to get saved. He's not going to. Only thing he can do is tell. But again, he's told the state. He's told at least these investigators. Mm-hmm. That's why we need new meat on the case. New eyes, fresh eyes, fresh eyes that don't know these other detectives where they can't influence them, they can't intimidate them. You know, Asher said there one time. Said when he come back, that the heavies from Frankfurt had already been to post and they'd already intimidated, threatened, or whatever he said in his book.
Said they'd been there and left.
And intimidated his investigators, wanting them to say it was a homicide. I mean, it's just been deceased 2 or 3 hours and they've already labeled it a S side. And then they want to say they've been threatened by a heavy because he wants it investigated as a homicide. And to this day, it's still not been solved. It's the most perfect looking S side that you could probably find.
Too perfect. To me,
It's too perfect. Thank you, babe.
It's too staged.
It's staged. It's too perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Not a S side. This was a homicide by somebody that knew him. That he trusted enough to get close before he could get to his gun or call in on a radio.
He didn't feel threatened by him, so he was
Now,
relaxed.
this gentleman is out there that told us these stories.
Yeah.
We think he's telling the truth.
Why
One
does
way
he
to
have
find
lie?
out.
Yeah.
Interview him. But you don't need to send these, and they're probably not even still around. I don't know if they probably are. I don't know. Troopers are like, they linger. Well, okay, I feel you. I got you.
Okay.
Sometimes the truth hurts. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I have to be the bearer of bad news. I don't think to most of these people out here I'm and if these guys are getting their feelings hurt because I'm saying that, then straighten up. Then straighten up and quit. Go solve this case. Prove us wrong.
Yeah.
One way or the other. You're not going to prove us wrong because we don't care if it's either S side or a homicide.
Mm-hmm.
So pick your poison. It's going to be one or the other, but you're going to have to prove it because we're going to look at it and see if you proved your case or if you're just trying to make something up. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys. We're hoping you're having a good night. Please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll catch you in the next one. Stay warm because there's snow coming. God bless.